think there was about 6 or 7 of us that probably did it, and obviously it kind of worked out just with daylight and everything like that. So I hate it we weren't able to go the full distance, but just kind of the way it was with the whole day, just kind of running together with the rain and everything else.
And then, just your thoughts in general on, did this work?
I don't know. I don't know how the show was. I thought that probably the race was pretty exciting there with Shane being able to drive through the field and get up towards the front and make some really good moves and make some passes, all the way to the lead. So, as far as being able to race on the streets, yeah, we did it. We accomplished it. We accomplished it in the wet, We had a few instances out there, but none that were too terrible. I thought the single file restarts was definitely the way to go. Even being back as far as I was for most of the race, it wasn't. You want to make ground and you want to make passes and stuff, but on restarts with going into turn one groove being dry, one groove being wet, that wasn't going to be the way to do it.
In downtown Chicago to put on an incredible event for all of you race fans. For all of us, my name is Tim Catalfamo. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. And thank
Kyle, you're a two-time Cup champion. To watch what Shane was able to do in his debut, it hasn't a rookie making his debut hasn't won a Cup race in 60 years. Can you just talk about that kind of an accomplishment and what you saw out of your windshield?
Yeah, obviously being a rookie to NASCAR, yes, but not being whatsoever a rookie in road racing and his expertise that he has, that's what he's grown up doing. That's what he's done his whole life, So, fortunate for him, he's done it in bigger, heavier stock cars, not lighter weight GT cars or some IMSA cars or something like that. So he's probably, 4, 5, 8 years ahead of us in this sort of car, and the things that he's done with the V8 supercars. So I've worked with him before as a teammate with the Lexus program down in Daytona at the Daytona 24 Hours. He was on the other car, but we were all 6 of us, 8 of us were all in the same meetings talking together, and so worked with Shane a little bit there. And I saw he was talented in that car. We were all really fast, and so he always kept probably the quickest time for the team the whole time we were down there for Daytona. So he's no slouch. I knew he'd be good when he came over.
And can you just talk about your comeback? Because to be, ass up to your ass in tires, right? And then to come back and do what you did was, a team effort.
Yeah, no question there. It was just unfortunate early getting caught up in the barriers and going back that far, but we all dug in and gave it everything we had to kind of rebound and come back. I wish it was done more in the way that Shane was able to do it, where I was passing guys and coming up from the back to the front, but I definitely lost confidence after putting it in the tire barrier in my braking zones for the rest of the day, and I had a lot of lockup issues today too, so I don't know what was going on with my brakes different from yesterday. I just could not find the right rhythm with it until late. Once probably the last 10, 15 laps, I really felt like I was clicking some better times off and rolling forward.
All right, we've also now been joined by Chase Elliott. We'll continue with questions for Kyle and Chase. We'll go over here to Daniel McFadden.
Daniel McFadden, FrontStretch.com. Kyle, how hard was the hit into the tire barrier? What did that feel like? And when you're sitting there with tires all the way up, halfway up your windshield,
yeah.
What are you thinking about your prospects in that moment?
I was just hopeful that the radiator wasn't busted. So I guess this is an instance where I'm thankful these cars are built so tough. Because if it was the old car, I would not have made it. Well, maybe. I don't know. I looked a lot similar to him and what he did at the Roval on one of those laps where he got in the tire barriers in turn 1. But it wasn't too terrible of a hit. I knew I was going in. I was trying everything to get it crooked so I could hit it flat side with my side, but I could not get it to rotate. So just augured her right on in there like a lawn dart.
All right, I think we have a question in the back. Can you raise your hand, please? So thank you.
Chicago Tribune, for either one of you, how slick were the roads? It had been raining all day. Did that impact the race at all?
Yes, it did impact the race for sure. We obviously, when the road has water on it, we have to run treaded tires like your street car. But when it dries out, it gives us the ability to run slick tires, which is a bit different. So yeah, it certainly added a dynamic to the race that isn't super uncommon. We've been through that scenario before, but it was, adding that to an already kind of new and different atmosphere and different circuit was a little odd.
All right, we're going to continue with questions. Does anyone have a final question for Kyle Busch? Kyle's been here just a little bit. I'd like to let him go if we are clear with questions for Kyle. All right, Kyle, appreciate you coming and spending some time with us. Thank you. We've also now been joined by Kyle Larson. We will continue with questions with Kyle and Chase. If you have questions, continue to raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. We'll go back to Lee up front.
Lee Spencer, Catch Fence. Chase, yesterday was such an uncharacteristic day, not just for you, but for most of Hendrick Motorsports, with the exception of Kyle. Can you just talk about what the last, 36 hours were like, just trying to get back to where you could be competitive today?
Got me now? I wouldn't say it's uncharacteristic for me. I mean, I've, just struggled, just wasn't very fast and was trying to just get comfortable, finding more pace, and I felt like I was just starting to get a big chunk of what I needed. Then obviously made a mistake and put us in a really big hole. So, and then I, crashed again today and got, super lucky. Just, for me personally, I just appreciate everybody digging in and putting this car together. I put him in that spot to begin with, and then crashed again today and got super behind. And then obviously we were one of the beneficiaries of the race distance having to be shortened because it was going to be dark. So we went from not being in our window to me crashing that second time and us being on pit road and fixing it to, fueling up one more time and getting us getting us enough fuel to get to the end. So a long weekend, but a decent result for considering how bad of a job I feel like I did for the past 48 hours. I mean, I think the rain probably puts a bit of a damper on that. Otherwise, I think it would have been a home run, personally. I mean, I think the rain added an element of excitement for TV or the fans here at the racetrack, but certainly for people coming out and having that pre-race excitement, I do think it hurt that a little bit. But overall, I thought it was a success. I thought it ended up being a pretty good race. It was difficult to find areas to pass. Some of the areas that you could have made a move, they were still a little wet. So it was kind of risk versus reward. But as always, the people who do a better job than others tend to find their way to the front. You saw that today with Shane. He was in a league of his own, and in my opinion, put on a really big time clinic. And I don't want to speak for everybody else, but he made me look bad. And I kind of think the rest of us too, but looking forward to going to work and trying to be better.
All right, we'll take a question here in the middle.
Yesterday, this is for anyone. Yesterday, a lot of the talk was about turn 4, turn 7, turn 8 being the treacherous corners, and today it showed that turn 6 was a lot of the crashes. What made turn 6 so difficult in the wet conditions?
I don't know. I didn't have any issues there, but I assume people just were locking their brakes up when it was wet. So, and it gets a little bumpy there as well, so you can get out of shape. But I think had conditions been dry the whole race, I think there would have been less probably issues there. But it made it sketchy and put on made it difficult for us, which is sometimes good.
Continue with questions, just to add in that we have been joined by Justin Haley, who was our second place finisher today. We'll go to Daniel McFadden, and then we'll come up front.
Daniel McFadden, frontstretch.com. Kyle, can you just kind of address the frustrations I guess your team had with the running order placement after the big pile up in turn 11? I know Cliff Daniels, he wasn't very happy at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I got to go and see what all happen. But obviously there was the wreck in 11, and I'm just slowing down, trying to not be in it, and everybody, you end up just stopping to miss the the traffic jam, and I felt like we should have got our spot back, which it seemed like they were letting the guys who were basically in a stop to miss it get up there, and then they left the 45 and the 54 way up in front because they had happened to get lucky and get by it, and then they put the guys who were the wreck also back in front of us. So it was just confusing. I don't know what the conversation was like going on. It sounded like Cliff said that NASCAR sent out a message that the 24, the 4, and the 7 were the wreck and we're going to go the back. And then the next thing, they were blending in front of us. So I think that's where he was really frustrated. So yeah, it was just confusing. I think, and also I'm grateful that I got to blend back in, where I was, but I still feel like I should have been a little higher. So I don't know. I'm sure there'll be a conversation with, the driver's chat and all that. And I don't know. I think maybe now that we've had it, we can discuss like what's the proper, way to fix the running order. 'Cause yeah, I mean, I think they got it half the way right, maybe. But yeah, it just is what it is. And eventually I was just like, screw it, let's just go back racing at this point. We're wasting daylight. So it all worked out for us. I think had that not happened, maybe I run 1 or 2 spots better. But Shane also was behind me, so he drove by me and got to lead. So I wasn't gonna win.
And I guess, Kyle, what did you think of what Shane was able to do today? How impressed were you?
It was so fun to watch from my view. It was when he got to my back bumper, I felt like I pieced together a really good section, and I thought for sure I'd look in the mirror and I was gonna be like 2 car lengths or something in front of it, and he was glued to my back bumper. I was like, holy shit, this guy is flying. So he was able to get by me, and then I got to watch the show. I kind of followed him through, and the moves he was making, really everywhere. He could pass anywhere, but the moves that he could make into 2 was really neat to see. And then the pass that he had for the lead, I thought their battle for the lead was great. He made his move into 2. Justin was able to get a good exit and squeeze inside him. I was like, man, he's going to be able to fight him off here for a little bit longer. And he just made a super aggressive lane change back to his right side. It was sick. It was awesome. So he put on a show, and it was cool to see. And I think when a guy like that can come in and kick your ass at your own game, it shows that we all have room to improve. And I'm curious what he thinks about us. He obviously passed a lot of us, so I'm curious if he thinks we all suck or if we could actually like compete. If we weren't really that bad. But we come from a different background than him. But it was great to see, and I hope the fans enjoyed it. Congrats to him and the team and Justin Marks. That was really, really cool to see.
All right, we're going to come up front.
Steve Sweats here with the Let's Go Press. Chase, with the remaining races left in the regular season, do you have 1 or 2 identified that you feel might give you the best opportunity to grab a win and make the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I hope all of them. I hope any and all. That's where we need to be as a team. I mean, that's where I want to be as a driver. I want to be like the rest of those guys that are the top 5 or 6 drivers in the series. They can win. They can win any time, and that's where I want to be. That's where I want to get to. I think if you're among that group, you're doing a really good job. So I think I need to be a little better from where I've been to assert myself amongst that crowd. But that's my goal. So I'd like to say that any of these next however many are left, we can go and compete at. So that's what I'm intending and shooting to do.
All right, I'm going to pause for just a second. Do we have any additional questions for Chase Elliott? All right, Chase, we appreciate you spending some time with us.
Yeah.
Do we have any additional questions for Kyle Larson? All right, Kyle, appreciate you spending some time with us as well. Justin, you're going to have to wait just a minute. All right, we're going to continue with questions, but before we do so, Justin, runner-up finish today. You led, many laps on the track. Do you mind to just give us some thoughts on the race itself, but really what a great showing for your team today here in Chicago?
Yeah, obviously a really good day, really good finish. Not a great weekend. I put the team behind yesterday. We really were struggling at some of the braking zones, and I got in the wall, and I had to stay late last night. Didn't get a chance to qualify, and we repaired it, and I wrapped like half the car myself, so I feel like that was pretty cool. But yeah, we started last today, and I felt like we had good pace. We just yeah, I mean, Shane was better. I mean, he had 16 or something lap better tires. I mean, just a world-class racer. He was very calculated, very precise, and very smooth. He wasn't overdriving it. He was very calculated. And for someone to come in and race like that was just incredible. So very clean as well. I mean, our race for the lead was clean, and he gave a lot of room and very respectful. So, yeah, great day for our Finish Chevrolet and everyone at Colleague Racing, the 31 team. I feel like, where we're at right now as an organization, we're trying to get better. This is my and the team's second full-time season, and unfortunately, I haven't been in a position like that legitimately to try to hold off championship caliber drivers, and I've just never found myself in that position early in my career. So definitely was battling some demons in my head there, just trying to stay focused and just try to get to the finish. But I feel like my lack of experience and his better tires were just how he won today. So I don't feel like it was a complete loss. I mean, we still finished second, but definitely wish I would have been better. But that just comes down to being in that position more often.
All right, we're going to continue with a few questions for Justin. We're going to go to Chris, and then to Lee, and then Daniel. Go ahead, Chris.
And Chris with WGHP out of High Point. Justin, you heard Kyle sit there and explain what he saw from behind you and Shane when you had the little battle down the backstretch. Run it back through your head, what you were thinking. How did you?
It wasn't
fight
much.
him?
Wasn't much of a battle. You're just trying to do everything you can, and I was really struggling in turn 4. Like I said, that's where I wrecked yesterday, and our car was just so rough in the braking zone, and I was really struggling there, and trying to adjust my brake bias to be better there, and I just couldn't. So his car was just smoother through there and could outbrake me, and I don't feel like he pulled away from me. I feel like I held my own there on the green white checker especially, but was that just him, only needing that 5-car length gap, knowing that, it was his race to lose. So, yeah, just like I said, I mean, I as a driver, you don't want other, forms of motorsport drivers to come in and beat you at your own game, like Kyle said. But unfortunately, he's just really good. And this was my first street race, and I can't imagine how many he's raced. So, I have nothing bad to say.
All right, we'll go to, I'll tell you what, we'll grab Daniel and then Lee right here.
Daniel McFadden, FrenchChurch.com. So, Justin, if I had told you yesterday afternoon that you'd get to be in the picture at the end of the race, you'd be in the frame when the checkered flag fell, what would you have said about that possibility?
I would have told you I would be in the frame getting lapped, not finishing second. So yeah, I just feel like we're, obviously we're not a manufacturer-supported team to an extent. I had 20 minutes of simulator time for this race, 20 minutes at the Chevy GM Tech Center. That's all I had. It was on Thursday evening at 9 p.m. I had 20 minutes. And, just what we've built at Colleague Racing, Matt Colleague, Chris Rice, everyone have just done an amazing job, and it shows that this car has leveled the playing field. And, I can't imagine how much sim time Shane had, but I had 20 minutes. So I don't know if it would have helped or not, but, when you sit back at the end of the night and think about what we don't have compared to the other teams, and that we're just at our, we're just starting to blossom as a race team, and it's it's just incredible. You know, I feel like we're realistic of where we need to be. AJ's put together some great runs, but it's a fight. I mean, this is a tough race series, and every week it's tough. So definitely enjoy when we do run up front, and that doesn't mean that, you know, we can take tomorrow off, though.
My last question. So when you came to that first restart where you're in the lead, like, what's going through your head? What do you think your chances are? Like, and you're going lap after lap, and you're still in the lead. So, like, what were you thinking at that time?
Yeah, just like I said, I mean, I've never found myself in that situation in the Cup Series. Obviously, you know, I have in the truck and Xfinity Series, but the level of talent, I mean, I had Chase Elliott behind me and Kyle Larson and Shane and Austin Dillon for a little bit. You know, all champions and multi-race winners. So big confidence boost for me, especially as I'm right in the middle of contract talks. So definitely just got to keep going forward, though.
All right, we're going to take one final question here from Jay, here in the middle. Right behind you, Sam. Thank you.
Hi, Jay Cohen, Associated Press. What are your general impressions of this event now that you've went through it? You know, the course, the atmosphere, and the street racing aspect of this first time.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, amazing. Everyone at NASCAR was first class. They kept us updated for months. I mean, we've had countless meetings at the racetracks. They were getting our feedback for, you know, the restart zone and this corner and that corner, and our relationship with NASCAR right now as the drivers is you know, better than ever. So it was really just an awesome event. You know, obviously you wish that the rain didn't come, and the Xfinity race obviously didn't get a fair shake at it, and then obviously with the rain canceling the concerts and everything. Just a bummer, but, you know, at the end of the day, I hope it was fun to watch on TV. Maybe not, or maybe it was, but just incredible idea that, you know, NASCAR is expanding their market, and this is just testimony to everyone there. I mean, I feel like the Coliseum was kind of the first you saw, and ever since we've just been coming to tracks like this. So, yeah, it's definitely was a first-class event. I obviously enjoyed it and hope we come back tomorrow. I don't know about the back half of the grid, but yeah, very, very cool. Glad to be a part of it.